My body. All right. Tier list. We're gonna start. We're gonna start from where we are. We're not even gonna go in. We're not even gonna go in alphabetical order. We're just gonna start where we're at. Tier list as of January 15th, Season 1, Marvel Rivals tier list by me. Alright? Diamond 1 player, Season 0. Think Diamond player in the alpha and the beta. A lot of hours in the game. I don't want to, acknowledge all of the hours that I've played since the game's been out. Since the game was on the alpha and the beta. Played a lot. Know a lot about the game. I'm not the best, but I love the game. And I normally predict metas and stuff early. I've done it a lot in League of Legends. I was talking about, swapping bot lanes and bruisers in bot lanes and roaming supporters and all of this stuff before it all happened. I'm one of those guys. I'm very, very forward looking. I called the 3 support meta about a month and a half ago, and I think even before the game came out, I called it. But I digress. So we're gonna go and make a tier list by me, King Gatsu. Yes, 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 tier list. So we're gonna start with Loki. All right, Loki support. Um, I'm gonna put Loki at B. Why do I put Loki at B? Loki has a very interesting kit. He can counter a lot of the high damage alts with his immortality field, his lamp for this game. He can do a surprisingly high amount of damage if you have your clone set up. Very hard to kill, very hard to lock down, and his ult is top tier with stealing an ult that can really flip a fight. Having 2 Luna ults back to back or 2 high damage DPS ults or 2 tank ults or whatever you want to do. Really, really good, really, really strong. But I put him at B because the kind of way that you have to play him, you have to play him as a second DPS or a third DPS. Even when you play him as support, I just don't. Me personally, I haven't gotten a lot of healing, high heal games. I've gotten a lot of like high damage games, but not high heal games. Even if I fully focus on healing, taking support alts like Luna and trying to heal the team, just don't get as high of a healing as you would with kind of the other characters, which is okay because this game isn't called support healers or whatever. They're called strategists, and it takes a lot of planning, a lot of thinking, a lot of foresight to play Loki, and that's why I put him at B. I don't put him low. You need to really know how to play this character, but he has a lot to offer to teams and to really, counter. He's kind of a meta counter because if one team is using a lot of defensive vaults and he can grab extra defensive vaults, that kind of flips everything for your team. Hold on. So yeah, so I put Loki at B. So next we're gonna go to Mantis. I'm gonna put Mantis at A. Um, I think Mantis is really strong. I think she's still top tier on the win rate. I think she's at over 50%. So she's still really, really, really good. You do see the kind of the effect of the nerfs and Invisible Woman coming in and Cloak and Dagger getting their buff. It kind of like brought her down a little bit. Her ult is still good. It's just not as strong as Luna ult or Cloak and Dagger ult or Invisible Woman ult. So she had to take a step down. She still does a good amount of damage. Her sleep is still really good, and a really good Mantis player can run through a lobby. A really good DPS player that's playing Mantis can run through a lobby. Very flexible kit, very straightforward, high damage, decent heals, defensive ult, really, really good. Um, so then we go to Rocket. So this season, Rocket is one of the top win rate characters after Storm. Storm is 57, I think Rocket is like at 54. So for some reason, well, not some reason, Rocket did get a buff with his healing. His healing got a little buff. And a lot of people are abusing that Punisher got some type of buff. I forget what it was. But I think it was like less spread on his shotgun or something else. But People are really using the Rocket Punisher and Rocket Winter Soldier combo with the team up, and yeah, so it's a really high uptick in him playing, and the beacon is really good. The beacon is good because it can kind of flip fights if you're not aware of the beacon and where the beacon is. Me playing at Star Lord, I hunt for the beacon all the time, just to get it out of the way. But I still put Rocket at B. I think Rocket is just getting away with a lot of stuff because people are so focused on killing Luna, killing Invisible Woman, killing Cloak and Dagger that Rocket's safe ability to play, dash around to be very mobile is just keeping him alive, and he's doing a lot of healing output. But other than that, a beacon rest here and there, his ult is just underwhelming, and I just think it's the team up that's really carrying it. It's just catching people off guard, especially with the way things are changing. Yeah, I just think that his run rate is not really indicative of how good he is. I just think that a lot of Rocket mains are just like doing their thing now, just like the Storm mains. Like the Storm mains are playing and they're really playing now with the buff, and she's fucking insane. So like her win rate is skyrocketing because the people that were playing Storm are really playing Storm, and then the people that are picking up Storm are probably like higher level players, and you're not really seeing it in low level yet. But that's what it is. Hold on. Train went by. So yeah, so that's how I feel about Rocket. I feel like he'd still be middle of the pack, maybe A, but I feel like he's just a B. Cloak and Dagger, we're gonna put her S tier. Them at S tier. Cloak and Dagger, insane DPS output. When you channel or combo the damage amplifier in the blind. Just does a lot of damage. If you're good at Cloak and Dagger, going invulnerable is pretty huge against Magneto alts, Doctor Strange alts, um, psylocke alts, Hella alts, anything. Just give you guys a second to breathe, a second or two to hold on to your Luna alts, hold on to your Invisible Woman alts, hold on to your defensive alts. I just think it's really good. Healing output is insane. The bubble, the healing amp on your teammates, the AoE healing, the 4 dashes on the alt, which is like making her alt incredibly crazy. Um, just all in all, great buff to the character. I thought she was good beforehand. Well, I keep saying her. I thought that they were good beforehand. Always wanted a Cloak and Dagger on my team, but with the Mantis Luna combo, it was just hard to get it off. Get it off. But I always appreciate Cloak and Dagger before alt fight time because their alt just didn't last as long as a Luna alt or a Mantis alt. So right now, kind of with Mantis taking a step back, Cloak and Dagger taking that step forward, it's just making a lot more interesting gameplay. Even though the gameplay right now is very defensive, and they're all add to a lot of the defensive play. I just think that we're at a point where the strategy is killing the supports. Like you have to get that done. Like that has to be a priority. As you can see, we're just doing all the supports at the beginning anyway, because that's how they're lined up. But anyway, really good, top tier, S tier character. High damage output, can really easily solo a DPS if they're out of position. Um, can clutch up points, very very good. Hard to take points away from them unless you have your own defensive alts. Um, yep, just everything good with the kit. No weaknesses to me. You can get out of bad situations. You can get in bad situations. You can flip fights. You can do a lot of damage. You can blind people, make them just useless. All that good stuff. So that's good. Okay, Luna Snow, still S tier. They didn't touch her. Um, her alt is just. I mean, they did touch her. They didn't. They took away the toggle uh, strat to where you just get the damage buff and extra healing. Um, if you had a her toggle for her alt on like scroll wheel, it allow you to just like freaking just do this and just get all of the benefits of everything. Still really good. Still high damage on her piercing. still high healing. Her her frost emblem to for extra healing and off healing to somebody that's out doing their own thing for extra DPS or off tanks. Really really strong. Her being able to freeze a diver can be clutch. It's hard to hit, but it gives you something to work with. And just it is what it is. Luna Snow is just one of the best characters with a defensive ult, so it is what it is. Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is going to be a C. Um, he's really good when he's the third support. Really good when he's the third support. Play him as a DPS, just like Mantis, but really good when he's third support. And you add these into here. You get the Mantis res with Star Lord. You can play res comp with two backup bona fide healers or one bona fide healer, and it just makes life a living hell, especially with the damage reduction that he does. The big AoE heals, but having heals to a cooldown and the damage reduction at a high cooldown as well. Really tough. His ult can be used good, but it's pretty hard to use because you kind of have to abandon your team and go somewhere random to get a good res off, and then you run back to your team. But then if you run back to your team to get the reses, they get res with no healing, unless the support get res with them and heals up and all other stuff. So he has his place in the game, but I just don't think that he's the top tier. He can work. He can work on a lot of comps, especially if you're like defending and you kind of just want to make sure that your team wins and you're playing like a different third support and you want to switch on to him to get his ult. It's really good. But other than that, you know, whatever. All right. Next character, Jeff the Land Shark. We're gonna put him at D. Um, just not in a good spot anymore. Once people caught on to his, the ult, and then they're nerfing the ult to give people a little bit more time to do. I mean, you still see people get caught by it, but it's not as frequent. It's not as every game as it used to be. Does decent damage. Does decent healing. Just more annoying than effective. You just have other characters to go with more defensive ults. He can work, but it's just one of the characters where it's just like you're playing him, you're not really optimizing your chances to win. Even though you can win, you can honestly any character on the roster, any character, don't matter where they are, S tier, D tier, you can win with any character. But it's just the likelihood of winning with the characters. So I really don't have much to say about Jeff. He has his gimmick, he has his place to play. Definitely an overtime hero, a domination hero. So if you're like having struggles with that and your team's looking like it's going to be a struggle, you can just do a quick switch to Jeff, farm up your ult, get them off the point, and hopefully you can just win a match like that. So that's just what it is. Invisible Woman, S tier, um, does a lot of damage, especially with her with her slow field pullback into auto attack. Really does a lot of damage. Can easily burst out people if they're not paying attention. Her pushback to counter dives like Thor, like Venom, like a Doctor Strange flying down trying to ult, like a Magic. All the divers you can just really cancel a lot of their initial damage. Her ult is insane. The healing in it, the protection of it, the invisibility of it, the being able to attack out of it without really having any return fire to you is incredible. I play a lot of Star Lord. That's one thing I hate to see as an Invisible Woman because it's like I have to kill her immediately or I'm getting ult countered all game, and that's just what it is. It's another defensive ult. Doesn't move. It's stationary, which is a good thing about it. I think you can get killed in it with certain alts, certain combos, but other than that, she does really good healing. Her shield, if you're really good at micromanaging your shield and who to put it on and quick toggles and just instead of like the Doctor Strange where you shield auto attack, you can kind of shield auto attack with Invisible Woman. Once you get really good at that, insane healing, great potential, great combo with characters like Iron Man because Iron Man can sit up in the sky with the shield to protect him. Be hard to counter him. You can put stuff on for Punisher. You can put it on his turret as well. So stop like it's a lot that you can do with the character, and it's going to be a lot more fleshed out as the game goes on. Especially with somebody like me, I play a lot of Star Lord, so imagine just getting that shield spammed on you while you're in the air, fighting, and now you got a 300 plus shield that's blocking for you. So now you can get your ult off and actually like not die in it. So really, really good, really flexible character. I don't think that everybody has figured her out yet, and I think that that's kind of where we are. Still haven't figured her out yet, and eventually, once things start rolling, she's probably going to take over and be, the top support or the top strategist going forward. All right, now we're on to the vanguards. We're going to put Hulk A tier or S tier, excuse me. Uh, Anytime you see a good Hulk player, a Hulk main play, ridiculous. The movement, the aerial shutdown, the damage tanking, the damage he can do, the health juggling, all of the good stuff. The team ups with Doctor Strange and Iron Man just makes him even better. This is a must ban in high elo. You have to ban Hulk out because Iron Man is not the problem. It's Hulk. A Hulk gap is one of the most oppressive things to play against. If you never played against a Hulk gap, you are lucky. Because I told people in the alpha and the beta, I played against two good Hulk players. One of them was Echo, Overwatch. Another guy, played a bunch of games with them, played against him, saw him play him, got fucking gapped out of my life, couldn't move, couldn't play the game. And when I saw what the character was able to do and what the character was meant to do, I said, okay, that character does not need a buff, and that character is not trash. The community is trash, and we don't understand how to play that character. But I saw one or two people play the character correctly, and I'm talking about it's just constantly in the air. You couldn't kill him. Anybody that was in the air was getting shut down, and the amount of damage and damage mitigation he was doing was crazy. So I told people from beta, I don't know if I have a VOD clip or anything, but I told people from the beta this is going to be the best character in high elo, and here we are, a month or two or a month and a half after launch, must ban tank character. So yep, all around just very mobile, strong, very flexible for the team. Can play as a diver, can play as a anti-dive, can play a lot of mid-fight, can play poke, all that good stuff. So and a lot of shield rotation, so you can kind of get your team in it. Pop a shield for Jeff ult, for Doctor Strange ult, for Iron Man ult, at least to block the initial stuff. So it really makes up for his lack of being a traditional shield tank like Doctor Strange. Just can do a lot, and you can appreciate a really good Hulk player. So that's kind of why he's a top band because he's ridiculous. All right, going on, Doctor Strange, S tier as well. Just a great kit all around. Shield, teleport clutches. If you ever seen a good Doctor Strange play, it's really hard to kill him or KO him. It's really hard to KO him. If you got the auto shield, auto cancellation, you're doing your thing. If you're paired up with Hulk and you got the extra damage on your explosion, you're just doing really, really good. Um, being able to fly up in the air, take off angles, and drop down with your ult and catch people unnoticeably. And solo queues really, really easy to do. It's really a little difficult in coordinated play because you have comms and stuff like that. But just overall, great kit. One of the strongest ults in the game with Eye of Agamotto. Big CC. Can really turn fights when done correctly, stall fights when done correctly, and pause fights when done correctly. So, really good character. Not really much to say. We all know what Doctor Strange can do. High damage, high mobility, uh, great as a frontliner, and great as a diver as well. He can just do it all. All right. Captain America. Uh, I'm gonna put Captain America at C. Reason why I put Captain America at C, I think Captain America is one of the most OP characters in the game, right? But nobody knows how to play him correctly. It's the same premise that I have with Hulk that I had in the beta. Once people understand how to play this character, and instead of playing him as a Vanguard, they play him as a DPS, kind of like Mr. Fantastic, he will shoot up to A tier. Why? Because his mobility to sprint, to get to the back line, to be able to jump out, reflect everything, reflect alts. His ult is crazy. You pair him up with Thor, does even more damage, goes crazy. I just think that he's a hard character to play. People don't understand how to play him, and people are trying to play him as a front line instead of playing him as a bruiser, backline, DPS, diver. And I think that's kind of just where it is. But all in all, can do a lot, very flexible with all aspects of the game, can do some damage, very mobile, can tank damage, can reflect damage. His ult is a big support ult. I think in the next season or so, we're gonna see Cap shoot up to A tier. Especially if we get more bans and then some of the S tiers start to get banned out. And especially if we get like 2 tanks banned out, we're gonna start seeing more Cap. Groot. Groot is B tier. Um, Groot is good. Groot is good. Difficult to play, especially with all of the access to damage in this game. Hard to play, especially with Wolverine. Very hard to play. Um, he has his gimmicks where you can do things with the wall to catch people out notice. We getting damage. Can block some things with his wall. Great ult. Can do some good damage and sneaky damage on people. But all in all, he's just too vulnerable to getting farmed for alts. Makes it a lot easier for the team to farm out alts, and at the end of the day, they're just better options at Vanguard. He has his place in some games, especially when other high tier Vanguards are banned out. But I just think that he's just like middle of the pack on Vanguard. Venom. Um, I can say the same thing for Venom. Venom has a play style, just diving, getting in the back. I love playing Venom. I'm really, really good at Venom. Um, but he has a play style, dive the back line, take a lot of damage, stay back there for a long time, jump back out, get healed, rotate, do it again. That's his play style. Just diving high priority targets, making their life a living hell, pushing them back behind your team, further away from your team, just creating havoc. If you're really good at holding his shield to the last second and getting your swing back while your shield is still up, you're really goated and you're going to be just doing your team a huge service. But all in all, that's just kind of just up to the other team. If they're not good at bursting a Venom down, CCing him, or whatever, and canceling his swing, then you're kind of just useless and you're feeding at that point. So middle of the pack, maybe even C tier. But if I put Venom C tier, I'll probably put Groot C tier. So I'll probably move Groot down as well. I think they're both C tier. They have their gimmicks, they have their play styles. Like all four of these characters have their gimmicks and play styles. But it's just really depending on who you're playing against and the type of situation you're in. So actually, yeah, we'll just move those down to C tier. So all four of those are C tier. Magneto, Magneto's S tier. Um, his ult being able to do 500 damage and insta kill. Um, all of these right here, all of these right here makes him S tier because we need as many shutdown ults as possible, and he has one. And being able to do that is great. His shield being able to block all incoming damage. So Hawkeye, hella ult, Moon Knight's ult. I don't know if he can do it with Moon Knight's ult, 100%. But Star-Lord ult. Yeah, just pretty much a lot of the high damage. Obviously Iron Man. All of the high damage. Incoming damage. Really, really good. The bubble is very, very clutch when you have somebody that's diving. It gives them access to doing a lot of up close damage, getting picks, and getting in and out. Not being CC'd can save a very high priority target from a one-shot kill or anything like that. So Really, really clutch, very sneaky damage, especially if you get an auto attack with his push into another auto attack. You can really almost one shot every 250 character, I believe, if they're in range. So really, really good. Has a great play style. Definitely in the top tier of characters, especially with all these defensive ults. His ult being able to kill them just boosts him up there. Thor, I think Thor's A tier. Um, just like these guys, Thor has his play style, but Thor's play style is a lot more impactful if you're just spamming dash, right? You're spamming dash, you're getting that extra HP, extra shield on cooldown every 2 seconds, and you're just doing that, and that just makes you havoc. You're displacing people, you're doing a bunch of damage to the supports and backline. It's really, really hard to kill you. If you don't make the mistake of pressing Rune Awakening to do damage, you will not die on Thor. I hate seeing people that are playing Thor and they do that because it's just like you don't need to press that button because that button, even if you kill somebody, you're going to trade. Because once you're done with your Rune Awakening, you're not going to have dash to get out and you're going to die. So that's the kind of play style. You just play that style, dash, 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 spam. You get your ult to pick off a backline or force ults. Kind of what he do. You kind of just alt, force alt, dash back out, get back to your team, wait out that alt, and then go in and rinse and repeat. But your Thor just does it better. Um, and especially with Storm being in the position that she's in right now, having a Thor with the Storm, it just can just destroy a whole lobby. So that's why I put him at A tier. You have a lot more reason to pick Thor. You can play him as a third Vanguard. I wouldn't be. I mean that. I think that's coming. Three Vanguards, two supports, one DPS, or three Vanguards and three supports, or three strategists. That's coming very soon. It's going to be just like Ghost Comp. Um, we're going to try our hardest to stay away from it, but I feel like it's going to be coming very, very soon. All right. Next character, Penny Parker. No, Penny Parker's on D. Penny Parker's below these characters because all these characters have higher impact than Penny Parker. Penny Parker um, is really used on like a few maps. Only on a few maps. The Tokyo map can use her on the first point on defending. You get some cheeky kills at the beginning of the match or any match. You can get some cheeky kills. But it's just pretty much the maps that have like the first map as a capture point, right? It's really hard to push in on a Penny if you can't get to her bot. And if you try to get to her bot, you can really die and pay for it. But once you're kind of like in the open and things are moving around, is Penny's is not that good. Your team has to be really bad to just let Penny get away with stuff. So her ult is horrible. Her mines are good. Her bot is good. But other than that, she's just really just a right click, try to CC somebody and kill somebody, or just place your mine and try to hold down spots and hold down choke points. I think she could be really good at on the New York maps. Haven't seen a lot of Pennies. Anytime I played against a Penny in those type of maps, just force her off, completely force her out of the character, and yeah. Do. All right, let's see if my peoples are on, cause they probably are on. Message me? Nope, not on yet. All right, let's keep going. Punisher. Uh, Punisher is B tier. Definitely could be flexing to A tier. With the Rise of Storm, just needing somebody to like Spider Time. No, it's not. You need somebody to take care of Storm, so that kind of just like boosts him up. Especially with the combo with the Invisible Woman shielding him, with the Doctor Strange shielding him. Definitely gives him a lot more access to damage on his turret. His ult is good, especially with all the defensive ults. Um, you can be saved. You can force out a lot of ults, force out a Magneto ult, and to kill his thing. So Punisher is B tier. Him and Rocket paired together, you know what it is. Like it's very simple. Get on turret, spam bullets, ult. Just B tier. Nothing crazy. Storm A tier. Highest win rate in the game this season. This character is freaking crazy. The buff went way too far. Um, we were thinking that hey, they're gonna flex her to a strategist, give her some heals. Blah blah blah. Nope, they said no. This character is gonna be a DPS. She's a freaking god. She's an Omega level character, and now she's actually Omega level. Ridiculous. Her thunder passive with the thunder strikes are crazy. When she's with Thor and she has the chain to her right click, it's crazy. Her auto attacks are very fast now. Fast charging alt gets it. Just targets the back line. It's either you're getting forced to alt out or your back line is dead. And it's really hard to kill. Very oppressive. Very oppressive. And she's pretty much getting banned in high elo at this point in time. Um, so yeah, really strong. They did a really good job buffing the character, but they went too far. Too far. Because you can't get close to her, right? If she's in, I mean, there's no reason not to be in the lightning form for the extra damage boost. You're in that. Anybody gets near you, you pop you're empowered, and you can auto empower. Auto person's dead. That lightning strike is doing like 150 damage. Your auto's doing 50 damage at least. That's two autos and a lightning strike. They're out of here. And then if you right click, they're really out of here. So the character's really strong. Crazy. Hawkeye. Um, Still put Hawkeye in A tier. Any chance you have a character to one shot somebody, they're just always going to be A tier because it's just oppressive. I will put it in S tier, but with characters with so much defensive ults and dives, um, I just feel like there are opportunities for him to be really good or really bad, or not as impactful, especially with like Magneto, Doctor Strange, and Hulk in the game. Um, if you get on him, you get on him. But I'll put him at A tier. I don't think he's S tier anymore, but he's definitely still strong, and especially in the hands of a cheater, really strong. Hella, uh, put Hella A tier. Just because Storm is kind of just taking over for both of these characters. They both got nerfed a little bit. Hella not having the extra HP definitely helps. It makes her a lot easier to kill. Um, with all the defensive ults, her alt isn't useful at all. It's just either a alt baiter or you using it after the support alts go down, and then you probably have to do another support alt. So, but all in all, she can still do high damage with head clicks, and that's just always going to be good in this meta because we need characters like these guys to get killed, and Hela can do it along with Hawkeye. But I still think they're not in S tier, but they're still in A tier. They're still worthy of bans. This one, two, three, four worthy of bans. So these are my four I would ban every game, and then I'll just deal with the defensive ults. Black Panther. Black Panther is B. Really good, but you have to put in about 200 hours to be really good at them. The combos, the one-shot macro combos, really good. Can rain havoc on your backline, but if you're not able to kill anybody, you're just useless. And that's just kind of where it goes. So B tier, highly mobile character, really hard to kill. They nerfed him a little bit to bring him in. I think they're going to nerf him a little bit again to reel him in a little bit more. But all in all, just a character that has one job and does it well. Same thing with Magic. They're the same thing. They have one job, and they do it well. Magic has a little bit more wiggle room because you can do the AoE attacks, but they pretty much do the same thing. Pair them together, have the little rewind, get them health back and all that stuff, makes them a little bit harder to kill. But all in all, same thing. Not really too crazy. Moon Knight, uh, Moon Knight is A tier. Shit, Moon Knight might be A tier. I think Moon Knight is A or S tier, excuse me, because with his alt and his Ankh, he can burst through some of these support alts, the defensive alts. If you just time it right with other damage from other people, you charge his alt really fast, so you're really putting on pressure for these guys to make sure that they have their alts up as much as possible, or to be in good positions because that's kind of who you just want to kill. You want to make sure that these guys are out of the picture, and being able to get your alt as fast as Moon Knight can, do as much damage as you can, really makes up for some of his weaknesses. Obviously, his weaknesses being Dove, his weaknesses of not being able to contest Hela, Hawkeye, Storm from Rages because he has projectiles, he's not a hit scan, and it's really hard to click on people's heads when you have projectiles that aren't hit scan. But all in all, Ankh, alt, Being able to do that, get to high grounds, different places, different angles, makes him really good, especially with these defensive ults. You can just get a bunch of hits on the back line with the 3 supports or a tanky front line, and you can just do a lot of damage. Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl can be B, C. Might put her. I'll put her B because of her alt. Punisher not S tier? Nah. Punisher's not S tier. Punisher's not S tier. I'll get back to. I mean, I was just say right now, Punisher's not S tier because Punisher being good really depends on having a Rocket Raccoon, right? The infinite ammo makes it really good. And Punisher needing like Invisible Woman or a Doctor Strange to sit in front of his turret to have him access to more safety in his turret. The only way that I will put Punisher up is if we're talking about it means to counter Storm. That will be the only reason why he'll be A tier, right? But other than that, I don't see it. I don't think Punisher can eliminate any of these defensive ults characters from a range where he's safe. Um, his alt isn't going to get rid of any of these alts. So unless we're just talking about him being a hit scan to take out Storm or his turret, he's really not that useful. You know, you put up 17k but 17k damage is not a lot. That's not a lot. Are you talking about 17 per 10? I mean, yeah, you can do a lot. You can do damage. Like I'm not saying like he's not good. I just think that he's very situational. Like having him a rocket definitely gives you more access to be A tier, but you need rocket. So if you need rocket, that's kind of why I'm keeping them at. That's why I'm keeping them at B tier together because they need each other. Like he needs him. Like so, you just got to keep them together. I can't put them both at A tier because I don't think Rocket is anywhere close to any of the S tier supports. I don't think he's better than Mantis, and I don't think that Punisher is better than Hawkeye or Hela or even on the same stratosphere as them. But I do think he's decent. I do think he's good, and he does have his place. Like you have a Storm and you need her out of here, you go Punisher and try to kill her. But if you see Storm and you want to kill her, it's probably better to just go Hela, because then you could just do the same thing, just a little bit more damage, higher damage. Um, but yeah, so that's the only reason why. Black Widow, D tier. We know why Black Widow's not good. She can't one shot. Her kit is just, it is what it is, man. It's bland, it's boring. I thought she was gonna be OP when we first saw her, because I thought she was gonna get access to damage buff by Mantis to give her one shot, but they took that away from her, and didn't allow that, so she's just D tier, and it is what it is, and she needs to stay D tier because we do not need a Black Widow with access to Hawkeye damage. What up, Celeste? How you doing? What's going on? And we're just doing a tier list right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah, Black Widow stays D tier. We're all good with that. All right, Iron Man. We gotta put Iron Man B tier. And the reason why I put Iron Man B tier is because Iron Man needs Hulk. Needs Hulk to get access to being oppressive. With Hulk, S tier. Without Hulk, B tier. Maybe even C tier. But I'll say B tier because his ult can get these people out of here. So, Kamlo A tier. I mean, I wouldn't put him A tier without the buff, without the Hawkeye team up. Because, like, I play Starlord, I'll just shit on him. Like, 100%. He was a good shit on. If he doesn't have the extra damage, he's not scary. You know? So, if we're just talking about his ult being able to shut down, you know, the defensive ults, then that's just really just a gimmick. Like you farm ult and try to kill the defensive ults. So that doesn't really like make him like completely strong. It's a gimmick. Like as you can see, all of these characters right here are gimmick characters, right? Loki, you want to take ult and get extra support ult or high damage ult. But all in all, you have your gimmick counter stuff. You have your gimmick diving, killing the backline, diving, killing the backline. Your gimmick is just being oppressive, spamming ults. Your gimmick is to be on your turret. Your gimmick is to just be hard to kill, but having your team up and your beacon, and your gimmick is to counter defensive ults. everybody in this is a gimmick. So that's kind of why I put them all there. Spider-Man, same. We'll put Spider-Man C tier. If it was me to just be like, what do I think? S tier, right? If we're talking about the top players of Spider-Man, right? Top tier of Spider-Man are S tier. They're broken. They got all these macros. They're bunny hopping across the screen. They're full sending rollouts from spawn. You can kill them and they're instantly back into the fight. Getting their one-shot combos, all that other good stuff. But you just don't see a lot of Spider-Man. People don't take that risk to just put him in the game. Um, so I mean, he can be anywhere between B and C. Uh, I think he would be better than Iron Man. So if I have like a B plus, like yeah, he'll be better than these characters just because he has access. Best two people to use together. Are you talking about two characters? It'll be Hulk and Iron Man or Hulk and Doctor Strange. Those are the best two. Or you can do like Luna and Invisible Woman. Those are the best two defensive alls to go ahead and go with. You remember a dude map where the Spider-Man destroyed everybody? Exactly. A good Spider-Man is very oppressive. Just like a good Black Panther is very oppressive. Just like a good Magic is going to be very oppressive. But this has to be like people that put in a lot of the hours to have access to that oppression, right? So that's kind of just like on average. Like this is like on average, on average, on average, on average. Like I'm not just talking about the top tier of all of these characters. Like there's a group player in the game that is unbelievable and make him look oppressive. There's a Venom player like me that will make Venom look oppressive. There's somebody that plays Captain America that will make him look oppressive, but on average, like these characters aren't as oppressive as we think. I think that Spider-Man is middle of the pack. He can do a lot, be very annoying, cost your team to turn around a lot. But if you don't get that one shot and you're feeding, you're just useless until you get your ult. Thank you for the like, appreciate it. Uh, Scarlet Witch, we know why she's D tier. Um, just pretty much useless. The ult sucks. You need so much assistance. You need a Magneto bubble. You need a Doctor Strange teleport. You need an Invisible Woman ult to like be hidden so you can't be seen. You need all of these things to make her work, and it's just not worth it. Only if you want to just get Magneto to buff, but other than that, she's not worth it. She's not worth the pick. Winter Soldier, A, again, again, again. They gave him a buff, make him a lot more tanky. Uh, they gave him the buff from before the game, gave him an extra bullet. Obviously, the team up with Rocket makes him a little bit crazy. The pull tech where you can pull people and like swing them around and get them even further back is getting used a lot. So really good. A good Winter Soldier can be a lot in the lobby. So yeah, I think that A tier is good. You know, can be with the pull and the punch and the displacement, knocking people around and stuff. Can really do a lot of stuff. Obviously, when he gets his ult, I know we all been in games where Winter Soldier got a pentakill and then had about 7 eliminations or 7 um final blows, and you're just like, bro, you got a pentakill, and it's just like, yeah, they only get kills with their ult, so whatever. Star Lord, um, shit. I think Star Lord's B. Just too many defensive vaults for him to really be as good as he wants to be. Um, I play Star Lord, so I know this for a fact. All of these defensive vaults make him useless. I'm literally just a alt bait. I'm trying to bait out as many of these alts as possible. So when I pop my ult, I hope that the supports or the strategists are not on the same page and they pop their alts. That's what it is. Other than that, you really don't have too much agency over the game with your ult. You really have to just be very mobile. Um, you gotta win your ones. You gotta win your ones. You gotta be taking different angles to get to people. You gotta use your AOE spin to do as much damage to the front line as much as possible, and speed farm your ult. If you get 5 good AoE spins. I forgot what it's called, but if you get 5 of those, you can charge up your ult immediately. So in like a good minute and 20 seconds, you can get your ult if you do it correctly. But all in all, without the even with the Adam Warlock resing, it's just like it's really hard to play Star Lord with all of this, right? He counters Moon Knight, so yeah, you can get away with it. If you catch Storm without her empowered Thunder, you can kill her. But other than that, man, it's just so hard to kill. You can't kill Hela, you can't kill Hawkeye, you can't kill Winter Soldier. It's really hard to kill the strategists because I think they all got 275 HP. Heal themselves, get away, push you back, all this other stuff. Cloak and Dagger counters you, can instantly one-shot you, and all that good stuff. Get frozen, blah 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 blah. So, yep, Namor, A tier, might even be S tier. I'll actually put him S tier. Um, Headshot modifier crazy. The squid buff is crazy. The alt is really really good for all of the defensive alts to kind of just pause the fight. If you're able to combo it with something, you can one shot them in the middle with 500 damage. So um, yeah, he has access to a good amount of stuff. Um, so yeah, S tier. That's just pretty simple. Pretty simple. High headshot modifier. Can do damage from far. Has his ability to keep him safe and to dodge ults. Um, his ult is really really strong. So all in all, really really good. Uh, psylocke. With all the defensive ults in the game, psylocke is just C tier. You can make her work, but really hard to make her work. With their ult being useless, you kind of just have to be somebody that's diving the back line and just getting your instant, macro kills. Like if you don't get your instant macro kills, you might as well just play Storm, play somebody else that has access to a lot of damage. But with her ult being able to target shields now, with all the defensive ults, Cloak and Dagger, Invisible Woman, it's just like it's really hard to come out on top with Psylocke. You're really just trying to get your ult before anybody gets their ult and taking advantage of it. Wolverine, uh, C tier. He has his gimmick. B tier. He has his gimmick. His gimmick is attack the tanks, kidnap the tanks, throw them in the line of fire, and try to dive the back line to get an insta kill with your rage up. His ult crazy when you get the rage up and you hit the tank, you can like one shot the back line. Um, so yeah, he's good. He has his place. He has his counters. It's very straightforward. Um, and he gets banned in high elo a lot because of the tank players just not being able to do anything against this. So yeah, Iron Fist D tier. We know why he's D tier. He's a low elo stomper. Other than that, just useless. Um, can't get kills. Can't be living hell for the backline. But other than that, just not really that great. Um, Mr. Fantastic. I'm gonna put him at B tier because if you've seen a Mr. Fantastic do good and partner with the right team comp, he can do a lot because he's so hard to kill. Um, it just kind of depends on the flow of the game if he's a B tier or a C tier character, right? So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt of being new. People not really know how to play him, um, but you kind of just want to play him as a flex between strategist, DPS, and Vanguard because you can get so tanky that your Vanguard you can absorb and block a lot of ults and stuff. Be a Vanguard. You can buff up your teammates extra HP, yourself extra HP when he goes into Diesel Man mode. You can do a lot of damage, and his ult. It's not the most oppressive thing, but his ult is like shit. Do I turn around and deal with this, or do I run forward and ignore him, and then you just have a big belly man chasing you, and it could just make the game. He just makes the game hectic, right? Mr. Fantastic makes the game hectic. He's bouncing around all over the place. You're just seeing a lot of blue on this health bar. You don't know what the hell's going on, but all in all, can be decent. He has his place, just like everybody in this row has their place. So all in all, that is my tier list. Um, I wish I could add on to two more icons. I wish I could put forth the Human Torch and Thing. Um, so what I think Human Torch is going to be an A tier character. I don't know anything about his kit or anything, but what I'm just imagining, I think he's going to be A tier. I think we're going to have a character with damage over time abilities. Um, I think he's going to be really, really fast and mobile, and I think he's going to have some like AoE fire projectiles that's going to do splash damage. So I don't know anything about his kit. Hopefully, if we get early access like we had early access to season one, I get to play him early. Sorry, training went by. And Speedy, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So just in my head, what I'm thinking, I think that Human Torch is going to be A tier. But we have to wait and see. We got a few more weeks, and if I think what they're going to do with Thing, I think Thing is going to be like a highly mobile bruiser. I think he's probably going to pick up some rocks, throw some rocks around. Obviously, he's going to punch some things. He's going to probably have some like damage reduction type of passive to where if he does like damage, he gets damage reduction, yada yada yada. If he does attacks, gets shield. I don't know. He's gonna have something like that to where he's gonna be kind of just like a momentum character. And if he's a momentum character, I'm gonna put him down to C because he's gonna be just like Cap, just like Venom. But he might have the ability to be A tier like Thor, where Thor has his dash. He might have something similar to that. So he's either gonna be A tier or he's gonna be C tier when we talk about the Thing. So I think Human Torch is going to be A tier. I think the Thing is going to be a flex between A or C. I don't think he's going to be a B. Just depends on their kits. Hopefully we get to see them very soon. Um, from it seems like they posted for the Twitch rivals, we might be seeing them this weekend. If we do see them this weekend, I'll definitely come back and update the tier list. But all in all, that's what I got for season one right now. As you can see, it's pretty much even. Like we got the same amount of characters in the D and the C tier as we got in the A tier. The middle of the road characters is more, but we do have some clear cut top characters that you pretty much see every game with Cloak and Dagger, Luna Snow, Invisible Woman, Hulk, Doctor Strange, Magneto, Storm, Moon Knight, and Namor. You kind of see these characters every game. Um, you you kind of seeing Hela and Hawkeye. Well, I'm talking about in competitive, right? You know that Hela and Hawkeye are top characters, but they're just banned out. But you still have to give them respect, put them where they are, and all in all. So this is my tier list. This is what I think. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think in the chat. Tell me what you guys think on TikTok. But this is what I got. Anyway, that is it for me. Now we're about to get into some games. Appreciate it.